All right, good morning, folks. It is an absolute pleasure here to invite Christian, the founder of XRPaynet, onto our show here today. Christian, how are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. Not too bad. Thanks for having me on the show.
Now, Christian's coming from across the pond, right?
That's correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
in the United Kingdom. Yeah.
Pleasure to connect with you guys over there in the UK. I get to wake up at the crack of dawn, nice and early, and connect. And no, it's really good to connect. And so I wanted to follow up with my community, and I wanted to follow up with you. We'd gone back and forth on Twitter DMs a while back about getting on. It's great to finally connect. I had put out one video my community might remember, and I was it was during one of your guys's you were having an incredible pump on the token price. And
Yeah.
so the video that I made wasn't about your project at all. It was just about a coin that had gone absolutely nuts. And I was saying, okay, this is cool. Let's check this out. But if, you guys need to take some profits, watch out. But I promised my community that I would follow up with a deep dive on XRPaynet. I see that you guys are still here, still building. And
Yeah.
give us the rundown on XRPaynet. What's new with your guys' project?
Okay. So, I mean, I'll go back to the beginning a bit. So, as a project, we actually started off as a coin and a project called XRP2. Now, the reason that we started with XRP2,
You guys were XRP2. Okay.
that's correct.
Now I
So,
remember.
so XRP2 in theory is still here, but now we're XRPaynet. The reason we started as XRP2 is because when I was sitting there creating the token, I couldn't proceed to full creation until I'd given the token a name. So XRP2 was the name I chose so I could proceed to create the tokens. I never actually intended for the project to be called XRP2. It was just the name I gave the token to get to completion of creation. But of course, once you've done that, you can't change the name. So we launched as XRP2. We got a couple of thousand followers within probably a week on Twitter. And Jeremy Hogan, who in fact I'd been speaking to prior to the sort of coin launch, agreed to be our legal counsel. And obviously that gave us great credibility. When certain, I guess, XRP maxis started to find out about us, as they always do, as I probably used to do in the XRPL world, they weren't too happy. I think they disliked us. I think they started to give Jeremy a little bit of aggro, or they had a few things to say to him. So we kind of parted company with Jeremy. We renamed ourselves XRPaynet, and that was around about almost 20 months ago, 19 months ago, and we're still here now. So in that period of time, we brought out our wallet app, which started off as XRPL only. It started off being called XRPaynet, as that was the name of the app. So the project was XRPaynet, the coin was XRPaynet, and the app was XRPaynet. In the last 3 to 4 months, we changed the name of the app to Volta Wallet by XRPaynet. The reason we did that is because we've incorporated a cross-chain sort of theme to the app, to the wallet. It's not just XRPL, it's more XRPL and other chains now. So in order to appeal to other chains, we tried to lose the XRP part of our name of the app. That's why we renamed it to Volta. So same project, same company, same team, just a new name to appeal to different chains. In the coming weeks, our famous card that hasn't hit the markets yet will be being launched. It's looking like end of the first week of November or middle of the second week of November. And the reason that's taken so long is because back in January, we paid our card issuer close to $200,000 for our card to be created and launched, approved by the various organizations, regulations. We had to fill in FinCEN documents. We had to fill in FCA documents, which is the Financial Conduct Authority, which is the FinCEN equivalent in the UK. So we went through all that procedure. We were accepted. We were passed. And we were going for a launch date of April this year. By June, the card issuer, who also owns the bank that was issuing the cards, delivered us nothing and kept the money.
Nice.
So to our audience,
perfect.
to our audience, I can't say any names because we've got a bit of a dispute on the go about this particular non-delivery of products that we'd paid for. But to our audience, it appears that there won't be a card. But anyway, in 2023, November, it's looking like first or second week latest, our card will be being launched. So that will then give us the app. It will give us a virtual Visa card that is certified for Apple Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay, Alipay, and WeChat. And it will give us a physical MasterCard, which is contactless. It supports contactless. Along with these cards, there's a particular sort of tier system. So if you buy a basic card, you get the card and it's certified onto all the payment gateways that I've just mentioned. If you buy the second tier card, you get retail rewards for thousands of retailers across the world. Now, with the technology we've built into the card and the app, all you need to do is go onto a particular website. Let's say, I mean, in this country, we call it Adidas. You guys call it Adidas. But let's say you're on adidas.com. If you access that website through our app, automatically, a screen will pop up on the app that says you're entitled to 7% off at adidas.com. And there's thousands of retailers that this is going to be happening with. There's also on the next tier up, you get the retail rewards, and you get a hotel booking portal that's an XRPaynet hotel booking portal, and it's up to 50% cheaper than booking direct with a hotel. It's equal to that of Expedia or hotels.com, but in some cases, certainly about 30% of cases where I've tested prices, we're cheaper than Expedia for a hotel. And that's all within the app. So I guess the app and the card and the sort of delay in the card have been summarized in everything that I've just told you, because people are wondering about this card. And that is the story behind it. But we're not far off now. We've got all the UI sorted. We've got, obviously, we're building as we speak. We've got the agreements for the cards, virtual with Visa, physical with MasterCard, Apple Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay, Alipay, and WeChat. So they're great products. And it's not just a card. It's about, we want to be the retail coin of crypto. I mean, every crypto was created with this peer-to-peer thought process. But I think if everybody is realistic, Bitcoin is not great in a retail environment. Obviously, there were the issues with reversing a transaction. You've got the cost issues. You've got the speed issues. So that leads you on to the XRPL.
Yeah, Christian. So I'm excited because you've touched on a few points that I wanted to get into it with you, and talking about these retail partnerships and the flights, or the hotels, I should say. I'm thinking of my airline miles that I get on my credit card, because to your point, what you guys are doing is allowing us to spend our crypto, which a lot of people have tackled. But what you're up against is not just other cryptos that are for retail and allowing, pushing you to spend your crypto, but you're up against the credit card companies, the frequent flyer miles. And so now you've approached getting retail partnerships. That's very exciting. And so if we could just back up for 1 second before we continue talking about maybe your partnerships and developments there and the card there, that's very exciting, because I know for me, I don't want any more apps. I don't want any more wallets. But one of the first things I was going to ask you was, if you guys were going to do an X app, or why you haven't done an X app, on the Zum wallet. But now you've kind of answered that, because you're going to be allowing folks to spend every crypto.
Yeah.
Right.
So one of the main things about us as a company is we're not here to compete with Zum. We're actually probably we only exist because of companies like Ripple before us and Zum before us. That's why we're here, because of the hard work that's been done by companies like Ripple and Zum in the last 5-6 years. That's what brought me into crypto, specifically XRP. So it's a good question about the X app. But instead of, there's no reason why we won't create some kind of X app for the Zum wallet. But what we're trying to do is create an app that's equally liked as Zum, but specializing in everything around crypto and retail. That's where we really want to be. Zum obviously are focused on being a wallet app. Obviously, they're starting to advance now. They're looking at retail options. But we want to provide as many opportunities and services as we can to make our coin a real retail coin, crypto coin for retail.
Well, and if I could butt in real quick, it's interesting because everybody in the XRP, or not everybody, but there's a lot of people in the XRP community that want you to just service XRP and just be about XRP, right? For you as a company, especially out of the UK, where thankfully you actually have the regulations and a process to go through this, and know that you're doing things the right way. And it helps that you got Jeremy Hogan on the team there before. That I didn't know that. That's interesting. Yeah, but to your point, if you're going to be a big company, right, you can't just service one coin. And so I respect and I appreciate that, you guys are thinking a little bit bigger than that. This brings in Bitcoin, this brings in everybody else. And that's fantastic for you guys.
Yeah. So a lot of people, even today and for the last 20 months, they've asked us, why didn't you just build this business using XRP? And they never understood why we had to create our own coin. Well, the simple answer is, although XRP isn't owned by Ripple, they own the majority of it. And we didn't feel comfortable building our company using a coin that has been adopted by Ripple for their project. We felt more comfortable creating our own coin that was identical to XRP for our project.
Yeah, and I get that. I understand that for sure. And I did want to talk about your guys' tokenomics too, because I was taking a quick glimpse at it. Looks like you guys got 50 billion total supply, but right now we're under 10% has been released so far.
We had 50 billion throughout last year, from January until October. We did a 40% burn. So 20 billion have gone. They were sent back to the black hole account. Obviously, they're irretrievable. And so there was 30 billion left, and there still is. That's the total supply. Total max supply is 30 billion. There's around 5 billion in circulation. That's correct. The reason for that is, I was asked this just the other day, in fact. We've only raised around about $500,000 as a crypto company in our entire existence. So everything that we've done, including being ripped off for nearly $200,000 with the first card issuer, everything that we've done has been with less than $500,000, because we didn't want to flood the market with coins just to get money in that we didn't need. Wow. So that's why the circulating supply is only around 20% of the total the max supply.
So who has the rest of the coins, and what's the progress or the plan for that for the rest of the coins?
They're with us. They're in our wallets, our ecosystem. Eventually, when the card system is up and running, obviously, if people are using our coin to spend, then they'll be recycled throughout exchanges where people are buying them. Obviously, once they've sold, they'll be liquidated. And over time, we'll release more into the environment as buy demand for our coin increases. So as the buy demand increases, the supply, the public supply will increase, but not to a level where we think the buy demand is at this level, so we can sell X amount and we'll drop the price. Nothing like that. It will be a gradual release, only based on the increased volumes.
Sure. Yeah, you'll have to, it's similar to what Ripple has to do with their market makers, because they're trying not to have any impact on price while you are putting, hundreds of millions, billions into the circulating supply, right?
Yeah.
So you have to do, I call Ripple the righteous custodians. That's my term for how they treat the escrow, right? Because I think that they've given us predictability, and we can trust that when it is getting sent out into the circulating supply, it's, well, for the last 2-3 years, it's only been going to on-demand liquidity partners. So immediately right away for utility. And so I think it sounds like, you guys are going to do something similar with your tokens and your project.
Exactly. Something similar. But one of the things that we've stuck to from day one, we've never actually focused on our coin price. You'll probably be able to tell that immediately, looking at where we started and where we are now. We've never focused on the price of the coin. We've always focused on the build out of the project, because once we get that right, and then the volume of users increases and the demand for the coin increases, the price will look after itself. So, but what we won't do is we won't say we're going to release 100 million coins every single month into the market. We will only ever sell gradually into buy orders that are on the books. So let's say the coin price one day gets to 10 cents and there's a buy order for 10 million coins. We would probably fulfill some of that buy order because somebody physically wanted to buy them. We wouldn't put coins on the market for sale unless there was an order for them. And that's how we will always do it.
Right. And so now the question would then be, right, why would folks need your token if they can spend all their other crypto on the app? Would the idea be, because I know, like me, I'm one of those guys that you probably criticize. I don't want to spend my XRP right now, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to want to spend my XRP for a while. And I'm one of those bad guys that treats my XRP like a reserve currency. I know we're crazy. Yeah. But when you want to start spending crypto, I would need a token. So that's where I would say, okay, let me pick up some of this XRPaynet so I can use this to spend, because I'm not touching my XRP, or the Bitcoin bros would tell us they're not going to spend their Bitcoin. Okay. So is that kind of the premise of where your token comes in?
Yeah. So like I said, from day one, what we've always wanted to do, and me personally, before I even had any members of staff or any team members at all, I realized crypto will never replace fiat and local currencies. It's impossible. The banking system is such an establishment, and it's so established, and it's got such a history across the world that I find it impossible for crypto to completely replace fiat currencies. So we're trying to build a project that harmonizes crypto with fiat. And we want to be, like I said, the coin of choice for retail. So at present, when the card is released, you'll be able to spend Bitcoin, Ethereum, Matic, BNB, Solana, Doge, XDC, and a couple of stable coins, and XRPaynet. In the future, when we release our retail point of sale systems, which probably, if I'm honest, is a year off, we may not allow all coins to be spent at the point of sale, only our coin. So then that gives even more of a use case for our coin. We would probably, we've started to work on the basics around the point of sale stuff, and we would probably have a situation where Obviously the card can be spent on any point of sale because it will be Visa or MasterCard. But for the actual terminal itself, it may only accept XRPaynet as a crypto. And obviously it may accept the cards where you could spend your other coins. But if we're talking about scanning QR codes, it'll probably only be XRPaynet.
See, that's fantastic. Okay, so let's hone in on this once again. You got a timeline right now of November for the card coming out. Is that going to be worldwide? Is that just UK? Where's that going to be released at?
No, it's worldwide. We're covered for around about 145 countries, I believe. I think the way that the issuer has described it to us is we can issue cards in every country in the world that's not sanctioned by one government or another. So, or the other way that they put it is, if you would take a vacation in this place, you're allowed to issue cards there. But if you'd never traveled there, you probably can't issue a card there.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it's most civilized countries in the world.
Fair enough. Some would debate whether or not America's civilized these days, but that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So did you guys receive a grant from Ripple? And then also I saw that you were at Ripple Swell, right? Your picture with Brad Garlinghouse went viral.
Yeah. So we didn't receive a grant. We did apply for a grant. We weren't successful. But we were invited to Swell, which happened to be in London last year. So that was nice. Obviously, we went to Swell. It was nice to be invited. The fact that Brad Garlinghouse said, "I've actually heard of you guys," was even better. I've got Brad's email address. That was great. Nothing has materialized in terms of a relationship between us and Ripple or us and Brad. I do talk to him from time to time by email. I think 2 weeks ago was the last time I spoke to him. But we've not got any official dealings with Ripple. And obviously I could sit here all day and say I talk to Brad all day, but I don't. I've spoken to him a few times. I've got his email address, and we spoke as well. That's as deep as it is at the moment.
Yeah, that's good though. Yeah, because if you get the blessing from them, then you got the horde of the XRP community coming. So even just taking a picture with him, now we're doing riddles and decodes.
Yeah.
Love it. Now, so I wanted to talk though about retail partnerships, where we're at. So you said we already got hotels. You're working with retailers so that, you'll be basically going to Adidas from your app. And as soon as you enter, you're going to be getting 7% off or whatever it may be. What are some notable partnerships that we have now, and where do you kind of see this going? Frequent flyers too. We're going to do anything with the airlines. I like that with my credit card.
Yeah. So going on to the airline style of points and things, we actually have been in talks, not so much in the last couple of months, so I have to be honest, but previously with the companies that provide rewards programs to airlines. We have wanted to basically infiltrate those rewards on infiltrate may not be the right word, but partner with these rewards programs and somehow connect our coin as a reward within the program. So we're looking at things like that. Retailer-wise, there's thousands of them. There is actually thousands of retailers all over the world. Adidas is one of the ones I think of straight away. I can't actually tell you anymore because there's that many of them. But
okay. And now, Christian, just real quick, when you spend it, from my understanding, I was looking at I didn't get a chance to read the white paper. I was looking at your website. When you swipe that card, you guys are converting whatever crypto it is into the fiat that they want. So it's basically essentially just swiping like a regular credit card for the retail end, right? That's all they're seeing.
That's right. And this is where this harmonizing of crypto and fiat comes in. We haven't needed to convince any retailers to accept crypto.
See, that's massive. That is massive. I really like that, Christian.
the guy that's on the checkout doesn't know anything about crypto when somebody's buying their cheeseburger with our card. So going onto that sort of retail payments side of things and partnerships, obviously at this stage I can't reveal names, but over in Saudi Arabia, we've been approached by the company that processes 70 to 80% of all of their card transactions, currently only with fiat, and they would like to work with us to build a crypto environment into their retail transaction settlements. So that could be huge. They 80% of 70 to 80% of Saudi Arabia's transactions are settled with this company that have approached us.
And then I wanted to ask, any plans with NFTs? Have you done anything yet? Are you looking at implementing that as far as, rewards paid back in an NFT, or I don't know, any plans with NFTs in general?
Yeah, so at the beginning of this year, we did do some NFTs. We did a project with XStick, which is another XRPL project. That went relatively well. We sold a few hundred of those. We also did our own NFT project. So myself and Kevin, our COO, traveled over to Holland to meet an artist. He did real art. So the artist created 10 flags of the world. He painted them, real paintings. We were to sell an NFT version of the real flag of the world, which we produced one of. So United States flag, one NFT, and they would also get the real painting. I hadn't seen anybody do that before. I've seen plenty of animated characters, NFTs of things that probably I definitely wouldn't buy. But I thought, how can we create some kind of exclusivity behind our short or small range of NFTs? And that was to do flags of the world. You get the real painting and you get the NFT. Unfortunately, we didn't sell one. There was only 10 for sale and we didn't sell one. But we're confident to think that with the way that we're going, and once people actually see us deliver something to the market, i.e. the card, I think there'll probably be a demand for those 10 NFTs.
Well, you got to try, right? And you don't fail if you don't quit. And so that's part of building during a bear market. And that's what I've loved about this bear market, is that it's really exposed, who's still building, who's still bringing value, who's giving up, who's calling it quits, who's tucking their tail between their legs and running away. Some of these guys trying to run away with the money. And it's been a rough bear market, right? And 2022, 2023, we're approaching almost 2 years now, and follows along with the cycle and everything. We're about to move into the next run up, in my opinion, beginning next year, and that's going to be a fantastic time. The momentum is behind us, although we are at peak terrible sentiment in the markets, right? I think that you can see that for yourself as well. But maybe to give us a little bit something to look forward to, what do you see next in regards to your project? I know you got the card coming. Is there anything else that we should be on the lookout for from your team?
Okay, so as well as the card and sort of running alongside it in terms of planning, not physical development, but planning, is our buy now, pay later structure. Now, this is already planned, in fact. It's planned. We're now planning development. What it won't do in the beginning is it won't let you go to any store in the world, buy something, and pay them for it later. Because to be able to do that, the stores would need to be signed up with us.
I was gonna say, speaking of bear market recession, that's the exact product that we need, the buy now, pay later, helping us out during the bear market. Thanks, Christian.
So the way it's going to work, our buy now, pay later, is we've actually teamed up with a fiat buy now, pay later company that have a few thousand stores within their ecosystem. And you'll be able to, number one, use XRPaynet to pay your monthly installments. And number two, buy things through our app on a buy now, pay later basis, supplied by our buy now, pay later supplier. And what that's done is it's given us a buy now, pay later solution, but without having to build it from scratch. It's going back to harmonizing crypto and fiat. We've chosen a partner that's accepted to work with us, wants to work with us for bringing buy now, pay later to the crypto world. So that's next. Within the development, or prior to the development of the POS systems, the buy now, pay later should slot in between the card and the point of sale stuff that will be coming out probably in a year's time.
That's awesome. Well, we're about to wrap this session up, so I wanted to get one final take kind of just on the overall bear market macro picture. First, do you believe, like I do, that this Ripple versus SEC lawsuit is going to settle up, or do you think that we are going to be going the distance all the way to trial? My reasoning for settlement, I just think that there's too much that needs to be put behind the SEC as far as the kind of shadiness that's been going on there. And then I also think that Ripple, they just want clarity on XRP going forward. And so if they can come to terms on that, I think that we reach a settlement. Your thoughts on that, and then your thoughts on us kind of going into the next bull run in the next year or so. Is that kind of the same timeline that you're at for crypto? And then if there's anything else that you wanted to share on XRPaynet, feel free to slip that in too.
Okay, no problem. So my thoughts on the Ripple case. Now, since the first sort of pre-win for Ripple, prior to this potential high court that we may go into, I think we all knew that Ripple were not selling securities. The downside is it seems to be only the United States that are saying this. Ripple have had the first victory by being ruled as not a security. So that's been ruled. I think Brad Garlinghouse has come out a few times and said we can no longer be deemed a security as a coin. So the next part of the court case, if it goes further, is about I think it's about whether they were selling securities at the time. That's my understanding.
It's not only to the institutional sales, right? So the institutional sales were ruled a security, and the SEC has filed interlocutory appeal on the programmatic sales and the sales by Brad and Chris, the individual sales. But yeah, Judge Torres ruled that only the sales to institutions constituted an investment contract security. Correct.
Exactly. And they also confirmed that it is not a security now.
Right. The token in and of itself is not a security.
Exactly. So obviously the SEC are trying to go for this extended court case, high court, however you want to phrase it. I don't think it will go all the way through a high court hearing. If it gets to that stage, I think there will be some kind of settlement. That's what I believe. But I don't think it will go that far. The other problem that the SEC have got now, since that first hearing by Judge Torres, the SEC have been under fire from all directions with so many different wrongdoings or things that they've hidden or things that they're trying to start now. And everything seems to be going against the SEC sort of from that moment. And I think that will continue, which strengthens Brad, Chris's case, Ripple's as a whole. But the beauty is the token itself has been deemed not a security. So that solves most of the uncertainty, in my opinion.
Right.
The next question. What was your next final question? Just
thoughts on when we enter the next bull run. You know, we got the Bitcoin halving coming up next year once again. I think it's April. And then, you know, we got an election cycle over here in the United States. It's going to be shaky. Yeah. Little volatility for sure, but I do believe that we enter the next bull run by next year. We'll start the run up. We will have bottomed out. I actually think that crypto bottoms out between now and spring. Maybe not necessarily another further bottom from the 15K level we already went to for Bitcoin, but not to get into the TA. I just think that we kind of have a rough winter as Biden called it, a dark winter. We're going to have another dark winter. And then hopefully in the spring, summer, Bitcoin halving, maybe we'll get some regulations passed in the United States and we'll start to begin that next bull run. Where are you at with that?
So I personally believe, similar to you, I think that the first cycle will start in 2024. I think Bitcoin, obviously we're all guided by Bitcoin still at the moment. It's still the leader. I think Bitcoin will peak in 2025 for its next all-time high. I personally see it at 225,000 for Bitcoin in 2025. I'm not one of these guys that's pushing for $1 million, but I think we'll be at 225,000 at some point in 2025. So where does that leave everybody else? Well, the rule of diminishing returns, as I think that's what it's called, probably states that the amount of X a coin can do now that the crypto market is sort of getting older, the X's or the multipliers are not going to be as good as they were previously. I think XRP, if we use the example, in January 2017 was at 0.002%. By the end of the year, it's something like 1,600x to $3.60 or 70. I don't think many coins will ever do that again. Probably even my own coin. I'd love to say it'll go to $5. Do I think it will? Probably not in the next 5, maybe 10 years. It could. But on the whole, I think we'll see a similar market cycle that we've seen in history that will probably peak in 2025. I think this time around, more altcoins will be brought up with it because not many were brought up with Bitcoin last time. The altcoin market was not as great as the 2017, 2018 altcoin bull run. I think next time a few more will be pulled through. But I think after that bull run, we'll start to see a big change in the crypto market where the 27,000 coins that exist now, I think it will probably be narrowed down to 10% of that. And it'll all be about use case. It'll be about credibility. What have you delivered to the market? How long have you been around? Meme coins, I hope they don't last after tomorrow, let alone 2025, because I get increasingly frustrated where I see a meme coin that does nothing, that's got a frog on it or some other character actually doing more in terms of growth and volume than us. It's very frustrating for us. But I think that's going to be short-lived. I think after the next bull run, memes may die off. And that's my whole thought on the price of Bitcoin. 2025 should see 225,000, I believe. And I think more altcoins will get pulled through the next bull run quite well, more than they did in the last bull run.
Now, Christian, I would have never dared to have asked you for an XRP price prediction, but after you throw out 200K Bitcoin, I have to ask you, where do you think the XRP goes in this next bull run that, you're saying tops out probably in 2025? I see something similar. So I got to ask you, Christian, where's XRP going? It's the trillion-dollar question that everybody wants to know.
Okay, so if we get to where I believe XRP will have a bit of a break. I think it will have the breakout that it should have had in the last bull run. I think it may have that in the next 6 months. And I'm not a 589 guy or $100 XRP. I'm a $9 to $11 guy. So that's where I think we will be in the next 6 months. But I also think we'll come back down. 2025, I would like to say that I see, and this is probably my honest answer because I'm more realistic than I am anything else. I would like to see in the next physical all market bull run a $25 to $30 XRP. I don't think it'll last forever. In fact, I'm certain that it won't. But that's where I would place it.
That's exactly what now I can put in the title and the thumbnail, $200,000 Bitcoin and $25 to $30 XRP. I'm just kidding with you, Christian. I'm just kidding. That's not what it's about.
I hope people write it down, because I'm fairly confident that that's what we'll see. A lot of people called out for $100,000 Bitcoin this year, and I don't see it. Well, I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Well, and to your point, I'm right there with you, because even at the conservative $5 to $10 range, we're a couple of guys that have had our lives changed by just that price movement alone. I'm assuming you have a little bag of XRP too. So it's going to be some fun. And, Christian, it's been a pleasure to meet you. I'm excited to watch your project continue building during this bear market into the next bull run. We're going to have so many new people coming in. And I think that it's use cases like this that help get people into crypto, right? When you can start to actually spend it, when we can use it. Because at the end of the day, right now, to your point, a lot of folks, we're tight. And so folks don't have extra money to just park in crypto and hold on to XRP for dear life and wait for it to go to the moon, because it's just tight. As we move into the next bull run, hopefully a little bit more liquidity will come back in and we'll start to see some of these alts go. I think to your point, we don't carry 20,000. And that's why I think so many of the alts struggled this last bull run, to your point, is the alts and the memes and the NFTs oversaturated the alts. Whereas in the 2017 run, it was XRP. You didn't have to go far down the list. The list wasn't that long, right? And so your money was parked in there at the top, and we saw XRP do something pretty incredible. I think it's one of the most suppressed assets in the world, and it's going to do something pretty incredible, to your point. And so, it's going to be exciting. And so we'll be watching the overall crypto market. We'll be watching your project. Any final words from yourself and your team?
Well, something that me and you touched on earlier. If anybody is invested into any project at all and they see it spike or they see it take a great move upwards for whether it's 2 days or 2 weeks, they should always take some kind of profits, because in this type of market, okay, there may be a buy demand that comes in strong for a week, but it's likely to come back down. So always consider taking profits no matter what you're invested in. That would be my advice. Stay away from meme coins.
Always solid advice, and I'm glad that I've been able to follow up with a look at your project. And I've always thrown it out there, if you're building legitimate utility on the XRP ledger or, expanding out to serve all blockchains like yourself, you got a place on my show. And I'm continuing to watch you guys continue building, and make sure you keep our community updated. We'll be watching.
Perfect. Thank you very much for having me on the show, Zach.
And we'll put the link for your website down below. And I'm assuming you got a Twitter. We can go. Yeah, I've been DMing you on Twitter. We can go follow Christian and XRPaynet on Twitter, and then we'll put your website down below. Anywhere else that we need to put?
Well, obviously there's our wallet, Volta Wallet, iOS and app, and Google Play. So if you want to link that in, that would be fantastic.
Sure, absolutely. All right, it's been a pleasure, Christian. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Everyone who stopped by here, thank you so much for watching another episode. Fantastic conversation with Christian. On the way out, if you could do me a favor by smashing that thumbs up if you appreciate this session, and make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell. Everything else can be found at my website, zachrector.com, and I will see you guys in the next one. God bless you all. Thank you.